Thank you, and welcome to Geek News Reviews, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Yeah, this cast may or may not contain some adult language, so
Yo.
viewer discretion is advised. Um, so I'm going to start this off with Star Wars Episode 2 currently holds a 67% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which was a surprise to me.
That's generous.
I saw Episode 2 in the theaters probably 4 or 5 times. So when I went to watch it today, I'm like, maybe it's not as bad as I've built it up in my mind. Well, it is that bad. I've got two things in my positives and a whole long list of negatives, which I'm sure they all do too. And we're just going to get right into it. For me, the positive was Ewan McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one in this movie who, is aware that they're making a movie. Everybody else just doesn't know they're making a movie. Hayden Christensen is literally reading the words off of Natalie Portman's face as he's looking at her.
That's actually
very,
true.
very blankly.
The behind the scenes, you find out that she was wearing a green mask the whole time that had his lines on it, and then they CG'd her face onto her face.
And another negative for me is Sam Jackson, who I like. You know, he's in good things, he's in bad things, but when he's in good things, he's in good things. And then with this, it's horrible. He does not need to be there. There's no reason to have Sam Jackson on the screen. If you wanted the character from Pulp Fiction, make the movie rated R and give us the character from Pulp Fiction. Other than that, just push him off the screen. And then I'm going to say one more, and then we'll go on to everybody else. I said this on our Episode 1 review. He goes into this Sand People village. He kills them all. He tells Padme the story, and she says, and I quote, "To be angry is to be human." He just committed mass murder. That's not anger. That's not what a normal human does. I'm sorry.
Again, it's not mass murder. He only killed like 30 people.
Okay. Is that human? I mean, so Charles Manson is human just because he got a little angry?
I'm just saying that you're classifying him as like Hitler-style mass murder. He only killed like
that's genocide.
It's regional genocide.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta find the right term for this. I mean, I don't know about mass murderer. Definitely a murderer. Just saying. I don't know about mass.
Crybaby with homicidal tendencies.
Yeah, there you go. That's dead on.
Mike, give us some of your positives.
Well, first off, cheers everyone, and make sure that you scramble code 5 to Coruscant, care of the old folks home. That's a line in this movie. I gotta say, first off, yeah, this was kind of an up and down day because I went and saw John Wick today. That's a positive I could give. Go see John Wick first, and then just let yourself down with a little Attack of the Clones.
You gotta watch Episode 2 first, and then go see
go see John Wick if you want the opposite effect, because then I have to come home and watch this again. Positive, yeah, you're right about Ewan McGregor. He looks like he's in these movies. He always looks like he's game for the material, at least. My favorite scene with him is not even anything action oriented. Right, he's interacting with his contact that owns a diner and is clearly like a CGI'd dude. He's like, Obi-Wan! They're cloners!
He's a random dude who knows everything.
I know! Exposition frog, I like to call him. Yeah, he's doing some detective work. I kind of like that. That's you never see that aspect of the Jedi. They actually do investigations, I guess. I do kind of like the little shout out to Ray Harryhausen effects with the monsters in the arena, but other than that, yeah, I mean they're designed well, but I'm just like, oh cool, it's green screen bonanza with this. Everything else just sucks. I consider this worse than Episode 1 at least, because Episode 1 they weren't trying for romance in that, and to watch them try for romance in this one, it's scary, it's terrifying. To see Hayden Christensen
had actual sets. Yeah,
exactly. To see Hayden Christensen try to go beyond dull is it's actually kind of terrifying. It's creepy.
You know what would be a great movie? Hayden Christensen and the Twilight chick. They need to do a rom-com together.
They'd probably have more
I
chemistry.
don't think there would be a com.
I don't know, dude. She's getting some good reviews for Camp X-Ray, so she might be. That's sad to say.
Whatever.
Bella Swan might be way beyond Hayden Christensen's league.
Could
She is getting
circles
Oscar buzz.
around him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's very little I found enjoyable in it. I saw it once in the theater just for the sake of completionist. You got to go see it. And then once was all I needed, and then I saw it again today. So thanks, Jason.
Max, give us some positives, and then we'll get into the negatives.
Positive. Okay. I always like it when they show the Jedi doing crazy Jedi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they're in the pit and Hayden Christensen calms the animal down using Jedi mind techniques. I thought that was really cool. Yoda's flying monkey crane style. I thought that was kind of cool. It was at least fun to watch. But that also brings into question my one main peeve with all of these prequels is that everybody's super old. All the lightsaber fights happen with super old people. And it's just like the dude is 90. He's not gonna fight with a sword. You can't have him sword fighting. He's gonna break his hip, and that shows. You can tell when they have the stuntman in.
Yeah, and they just superimpose his face.
8 sweet things, and then they shoot to the dude, and he's just like, oh, he's resting on his cane. He's got his walker out. They should have lightsaber walkers. Yeah. So no, sorry. Good things. Good things. Jedi powers. So the one time when they did a Jedi power in the movie, that was it. That's the only good thing.
Philip, give us some positives.
So I actually felt it was the only movie that actually offered a battle scene where both sides actually had the equivalent armies. Every other movie, it's always luck that one side happens to win, or oh, there's a hole, or hey, let's run around the legs of these walkers, which should have weapons that should be destroying them in Hoth, but that's okay. It's all good. Logic out the window. And this one, at least, and then the first one, oh my god, the stupid Gungans against the robots. I'm like, the robots should have just slaughtered all the Gungans. That would
have been great.
I wish.
Starting with Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, well, we'll get to negatives about Jar Jar in a sec. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we're kind of in negatives already, but go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
Don't worry. So, for me, I knew the love scene is awful. So what I actually did when I was watching this was, oh, it's love scene time to go clean my house. Let the love scene pass, come back, and the movie is much better that way when you ignore that whole section of the movie. It's much more entertaining. It really is, because you at least have kind of a mystery going on that Obi-Wan has to solve. It kept my attention more than the first one, at least.
Yeah.
My problem was the first one is there's so much segmented stuff that I don't care. Don't care. And then, my debate at the beginning of this, I guess I'm going to slide into negatives. But that's my perspective, is that there's a lot more interesting material in this one. It's just surrounded by shitty acting and shitty writing.
Okay. I will give one positive, because I went straight into negative with mine, but positive, Hayden Christensen is fascinating to watch. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just
psychological study.
I mean, yeah, it's just fascinating just to see what he does. Not when he's just saying dialogue, but when he's actually trying to have some kind of romantic interlude with Natalie Portman, and he's just like, I'm haunted by the kiss you never should have given me. His acting is astonishing.
It's like watching somebody get hit by a train.
Exactly. It's not the good type of entertaining, but at least it's entertaining.
Dude, okay, when they're about to die, and she's like, I love you. I thought you said that we couldn't be in love, and it was like, what? I mean, come on, man.
Dude, my favorite line of that, he's like, we're about to die, and she's like, it's okay. I've been dying a little bit more ever since you came into my life. I'm like, is that supposed to be a compliment?
That's awesome.
Day since you came into my life.
Like,
and everyone agrees with her. They're like, yes, we all feel the same way.
I'm like, thank you? Thank you? Want to get married? I don't know.
Oh, man. No, I was just like, you're going to argue with Natalie Portman when she's trying to stick her tongue down your throat. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen. And God bless her. She's gone on to greater things. Hayden Christensen, I don't know. Jumper?
Jumper was a pretty good movie, right? You guys like that one.
And he had a Samuel L. Jackson reunion in there, so yeah.
Oh, goodness sake. Look, Samuel L. Jackson will do anything for money.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I still love him.
All right, guys, time to have fun. Mike, give us your negatives about this movie. Jar Jar Binks,
wow.
start with that. There you go.
Well, let's see. Yeah, green screen central. George Lucas definitely didn't take any lessons from Phantom Menace when it came to child actors, because there's a lot of them in here that kill me. Wee little Boba Fett, he's like, "Get him, Dad! Get him! Fire! Fire, Dad!" I'm like, oh my god. I really hope this kid doesn't grow up into Boba Fett. Like, and also, my favorite one, I have to say, or my favorite one to kind of loathe, was when Obi-Wan can't figure out that maybe someone lied about there not being a planet out there. He's like, Jedi don't lie. That's absurd. Even though we have evil Jedi. So he goes to Master Yoda for help, right? And Master Yoda's teaching a bunch of little kids, and they're all adorable, like, "Good morning, Master Obi-Wan." And so he's like, "Hello," and then he's like, "What's the problem Master Obi-Wan here is facing?" He poses it to the kids who, have just learned to wipe themselves, let alone use a lightsaber. And there's this one kid who sounds like the voice of Linus from like the Charlie Brown Christmas special. He's like, "Master Yoda, it's because someone erased it from the archive memory." I'm like, oh God. I hope that kid has a good job now, because he's probably full grown, and cheers to you, kid.
Luckily, he was so young when they filmed that there's no way to actually trace him back to it. I mean, he could just put that in his past and not even mention it happened. It's like when his uncle touched him that one time.
Watch, that kid grew up to be like, what's his name from the Hunger Games, PETA or something. I don't know. But no, like, I don't know. Aside from Ian McGregor, no one looks like they're having fun here. They're just going through motions. It's really kind of depressing.
Whatever, man. No, you can tell Hayden Christensen's working real hard.
He's at full capacity for him. So yeah.
Guys, to be fair, he's trying to read while making a movie, and he just doesn't get the big words like "the" and "it" and "is."
Yeah.
So.
Well, and also to be fair, it's George Lucas dialogue. Like, you will notice, like, yeah, sure, the A New Hope was a great movie. Sure, don't get me wrong, but don't tell me the dialogue in that was like stellar. The best dialogue I ever felt came from Empire.
Your foul stench when I came aboard this ship.
Exactly. Like, the best dialogue came from Empire and Return of the Jedi, because they were written by different people. Like, he can structure a story maybe, but in terms of like dialogue, it's pretty painful. So yeah. Whew.
Max, negative on Star Wars. Episode 2.
I tried to go for the little nitpicky stuff, because I think, like Hayden Christensen, the acting, the writing, the directing, the CG, all that's too big. It's all right in your face. So when that assassin sends the bugs to attack Natalie Portman, they know to stop when R2-D2 does the sweep. Like, like what?
Okay, guys. Okay. Wait. Okay, he's asleep again. Let's go.
So they're flying through this giant electrical conduit, and they get shocked, and they manage not to die. That was, pretty cool. Anakin whines all the time. They say something in space is south of something else, and there's no direction. I figure somebody who spends any amount. I've never been to space, and I know that there's no such thing as south. But anyone who spent any sort of time, whatever. Okay, that's me. I mean, maybe I'm being too picky. The ghost of Qui-Gon for no reason at all. Anakin, no! And for no reason at all. Like, that was just completely unnecessary. You can't have Yoda. Just all the dialogue that happens right after the stupidest ghost haunting voice of all time. All the dialogue explains what's going on, and you just don't need it. So there's that.
To be fair, the Jedi aren't really that sharp in these prequels.
Yes. That is true. They are all actually retarded people. But okay. We're moving on from there. And then I stopped caring about how much crap was bad in this movie. I started writing things about, like, what would make the movie better. So what if Obi-Wan did join the Separatists? Like, when Dooku's got him captured, he's like, holy crap, there's a Sith Lord? holy crap, you're right, I should join you. You know, and he goes along, and maybe Anakin comes with. Like, that would have been a crazy plot twist that, you know, no one saw coming. Yada yada yada. You know, I don't know. Like, I just started thinking about different things because my mind was grasping and, you know, reaching and trying to do something to cope with the bullshit that I was force feeding myself.
Philip, negatives.
So for me, I mean, I understand you all said the CGI, but there was one to me that was absolutely grotesque. It was that ship at the beginning that gets blown up. Why is that the shiniest, brand new ship? I mean, that ship looks better than anything they make for 40 years.
All Naboo cruisers are like that.
Yeah, apparently. Well, no, that one was especially shiny. If you remember even the first one, I mean, it's like, it almost glows.
Something I liked about that sequence too. It has, I mean, yeah, that explosion of the ship and everything like that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a video game movie. But what really struck me was that her double, you know, because she's always traveling with doubles that are either like Keira Knightley or other people. But like, so her double gets killed, right? I didn't notice it until I saw it again today. She literally got blown out of her shoes. Like, she's not wearing shoes. Wearing shoes when she's walking down the little platform. Right. Explosion. She's barefoot when she's like dying on the.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that happens.
Whoa! She got blown out of her socks over this. That's.
You know, I'm like, yeah, people get in car accidents and get hit out of their shoes. So and that's actually a plus. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the positive column.
Okay, so there we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Silver linings.
Yeah. So, like, for me, I actually did the same thing as you, Max. I mean, for me, my three were Hayden Christian, CGI, and love story. I wasn't going to go any further than that. I knew that. I didn't care. For me, I actually went with what would be more interesting, but I would have to completely blow up the first two movies to actually do it, which would be, if you need to introduce Anakin, fine, introduce Anakin in the first 15 minutes. Qui-Gon goes and explains why he needs to be there. Qui-Gon dies by Darth Maul halfway through the first movie. Now you're having Obi-Wan hunt down Darth Maul to the end of the movie, and then you can kill Darth Maul at that point. And you actually have some exposition, you can actually have some time, you can have some things going on, and kind of like explain how Palpatine, this whole thing that they hint at one time in an entire movie of, hey, yeah, so we've been working together, I'm glad you're listening. To like, what? Wait a minute, what? That's important. Why aren't we talking about that? And moving on, you need to go. Go take care of Padme.
Well, because Palpatine's so subtle about how not evil he is.
Yeah, the first one. How the hell did they never notice? The second one, he got better. I think the second one's like
not the creepiest old man you've ever seen in your entire life. I mean, anyone who is not instantaneously off-put by that guy is a creepy weirdo himself.
And then my question was, what the hell would he have done if his assassins were successful at killing Padme? That would have been the end.
Well, no, then Jar Jar would have done what he did anyways, which is doom the whole galaxy.
Well, except Anakin probably wouldn't have lost it. Anakin probably would have killed himself.
I guess.
Yeah, no, he definitely would have killed himself.
He would have found someone else. He would have found someone better.
He would have just killed everyone else.
He would have found someone without kids. And then he'd be set for life.
Yeah, some more movie changes that could have happened. Like, why didn't they have Jar Jar on the platform there when it exploded? Perfect opportunity to kill off Jar Jar.
Because he needs to give Palpatine executive power. Because Jar Jar messes everything up for everybody.
Including
literally,
the movies.
Everything else that happens in Star Wars is his fault from that point on.
Yeah, he does take the responsibility away from those two gunners who didn't shoot the escape pod that had R2-D2 and C-3PO in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's that? Oh, there's no life forms on it. Let it go.
Yeah.
And they could have just saved everything, you know? Blam. No Death Star plans. No nothing.
Frank,
Movie's over.
Frank, how about we shoot it anyways, just to be sure? No.
No, we're not going to shoot it.
Okay, you're the boss.
We're better than that.
Anything else, Philip?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, I could go into like another 30 minutes on how to make it better, but it'll never happen, so why bother?
I actually spent 2 months trying to reconcile the prequels with the regular quels.
Doesn't happen.
Whatever you call it, the trilogy. And yeah, there's no way to do it. No. I actually had to spend a little time in a mental institute because it's not physically possible.
For example, how can R2 forget that he flies?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I have a major problem with that. Where are the rockets?
You could have done this whole time?
And why is he using like old school rocket technology when they have like repulsors? You know, they have hover cars.
No,
you
my
don't
main-
need this rocket technology.
My main thing is that R2 can fly, and he doesn't do it later on when it
No.
could prove very useful.
No, he's like, I could fly, but fuck these guys.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and also Uncle Owen, how does he not recognize the same C-3PO?
Well, it's just the voice.
Oh,
See, I thought that too, but then I was like, well, it's just his voice.
I guess.
He's just the
He's got the-
protocol
he's-
droid.
He's got the exact same
Probably-
name. He's been working on that farm for how long? It's like, oh yeah, I remember seeing you.
I agree. I agree with C-3PO not being recognized because he's Anakin's robot for one. He does not look anything like he did when he left. And the only thing to recognize would be the voice, and who really cares what that? You know, the whole time he's spending trying to ignore him, not
Yeah, no
actually
one-
listening to what his voice.
Yeah, no
sounds
one
like.
listens to him anyway, so.
Yeah. But what I did have a huge problem with was the stupid crap they had. His head comes off, and then they and I'm
Cool,
like,
man, it's
who
comedy.
thinks this is funny? Who thinks this is good?
The entire time that was going on, I was literally doing this. Like one of those old-timey cartoons with that soundtrack. I'm like, this
Oh,
is
dude,
so
it was terrible.
stupid. I mean, I know they're supposed to be kids' films, but
Give me, like, do you want your kids laughing at this? If I caught my kid laughing at that, I'd slap him upside his head. Be like, that's not funny. It's stupid.
Well, my last negative, you guys have already touched on the CG in this movie, but the CG in the end is so bad that I feel like I'm watching a cartoon.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you're watching a cartoon, but
Right. That would have been a great cartoon.
it
watch
just
Clone Wars.
like a lot like a Roger Rabbit type thing. Like the end with Dooku, he just kind of stands out with the CG background. It's ridiculous. So
And
I mean,
the CG Dooku.
Wait till we watch episode 3, Jason.
oh man, I can't wait.
Man.
So that
Plus,
is
I-
our
Yeah.
that is our review of episode 2. Episode 3 will be coming in roughly 2 weeks,
Yay.
maybe 3. I'm not gonna put any guarantee because these movies just get awesomer.
Okay, no, episode 3 is easier to watch than 2.
Yeah, it is. There's a little bit more to like in the last half of that, or last third.
And hey, who doesn't love Frankenvader?
All right, guys. Good night.